Greetings, loyal viewers, and welcome back to another installment of Gargantuous Insta Thoughts.
Are all pirates this stupid?
This film contains scenes that may be too intense for younger viewers.
This actually wasn't that bad of a movie. I'm actually kind of shocked too, because to give it a little history, I liked the first two Pirates of the Caribbean films. Well, the first one more than the second one, anyway. I still kind of enjoyed the second one, despite the third being pretty slow. But as for At World's End, unlike with that one though, I fell asleep at some point into the second half of the movie because it just was so freaking long. Like, I just couldn't keep myself awake to even care what was going on. So much so that I've never even seen Stranger's Tide, but Stranger's Tide, I don't know. Frankly, I don't freaking care. But, so, honestly, when I was going to see this with my buddy Zach, I was very hesitant because, well, obviously I didn't exactly have the highest of hopes after World's End and how very forgettable Stranger Tides apparently was. I wouldn't know exactly because I haven't seen it, and like I said, don't plan to. But, so yeah, the movie basically focuses more on the son of one of the characters of the previous films, I'm assuming, who was played by Orlando Bloom. I don't remember their names, so if any of you in the comment section below can point out what their names are, I would be glad to hear it. But it focuses on his son trying to lift the curse that was apparently laid upon him from the Flying Dutchman or something like that. And he enlists the help of Jack Sparrow, obviously, and another woman who, and this is probably going to lead to one of my other notable problems with the movie, but more on that later. So they then have to go through many ends to find the only thing that could lift the curse of the Flying Dutchman from his father, the Poseidon's Trident. And from then on, some of your funny typical pirate stuff ensues, while having an occasional detour. But thankfully, not only are they thankfully very few, but they're very brief too. And all in all, I actually thought this movie was kind of enjoyable. It was definitely really funny, especially with moments with Jack Sparrow. But even when he's in movies that otherwise bore the crap out of me, like in World's End, he's still so enjoyable to watch. And the action stuff, like in the previous films, was also very well handled. And because the fact that the movie had a more quicker pace to it, the action really did help to make this movie work a lot better. Excuse me. So, there's that. Now, with that said, there are a few notable problems. One of my biggest problems with the movie is the climax itself, mixed in with the villain who, much like with the last two Pirates films, is utterly forgettable. And he shouldn't be. He has a pretty cool design, and a somewhat interesting backstory, but yeah, aside from that, I just don't really remember that much about him. And the climax, while not being flawed in the same vein, the problem is that of all the big action scenes in the movie, this one honestly feels the most ridiculously cluttered. Like, it happens way too fast, and it's just kind of hard to get you to wrap your head around it a little bit. Not that it's really complicated, but it's just so much is happening all at once. I mean, the build-up, like the big action scene right before the climax when they find Poseidon's trident, which I won't give too much away about what happens, although you probably could guess, is pretty awesome. My only other problem with the movie is, of course, with the aforementioned son of Orlando Bloom's character and the other woman who is also an astronomer, I think? I don't remember, but my problem with them is that while they're not necessarily terrible characters, I don't know. To me, as I was watching this movie, I was wondering what was even the point of the last films with giving a curse on Orlando Bloom so that he could be out of the picture, when essentially his son and the other woman are basically Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, like right down to the fact that they are basically the straight men working off of these crazy pirate characters, including Jack Sparrow. So throughout the entire film, I was kind of wondering, what is even the point of these characters? Why am I even watching them when we already have characters that are eerily similar? I don't know. But in the end, I thought this was still a fun and enjoyable film, even if it did have its flaws, like the occasional pointless detour and the cluttered climax, forgettable villain, and mostly pointless side characters. Well, I don't even know if I should call them side characters, because they get about the same amount of screen time as Jack Sparrow, so I guess you could say they're main characters. I should more just say forgettable straight men characters then. But that's just me. I think, well, I'll definitely be checking this movie out a few more times in the future. It's more or less something that I could just simply recommend. Not quite on the same veins as Kong Skull Island, and frankly, I had a lot more hype to see that movie. So keep in mind, there might be a little bit of bias there. But that's just my own silly opinion, so just take that as you will. So, yeah, that's about all the time we got. If you liked the video, go ahead and comment, like, and/or subscribe. And if you have any other suggestions, leave some in the comment section below. And as always, I'm King Gargantuous, and I'll see you all next time.